Generation 6 of Pokemon was arguably one of the most innovative generations of Pokemon, especially at the time of its release. Like, let's take a second to break it down. We had a jump to 3D on handheld devices, which was unheard of in the Game Boy and original DS era. Honestly, a lot of us thought it peaked with the 3D cutscenes in Gen 5, so when this whole shit dropped on the 3DS, we were like, yo, the fuck is this? Also, 3DS wasn't even a thing at the time. I don't know if y'all knew for real, because maybe some people don't remember, but back in that time, the 3DS was kind of controversial because of the 3D feature, and a lot of people, at least from what I understand, weren't really buying the console. Once they moved Smash Bros to the 3DS, once Pokemon came out, and once they kind of stopped supporting the DS as a whole, people were getting 3DSs just to play Pokemon X and Y. We got Mega Evolution, and to this day, it's one of the coolest features that they've ever added to the game that adds a level of depth and a level of coolness, right? Because after a while, we get bored of the same thing, seeing the same stuff all the time. It was a cool gimmick. Even if you didn't like it from a battle standpoint, you can't tell me some of these Mega Evolutions weren't cool and didn't make your childhood, teenagehood, or maybe even early adulthood, depending on how old you are when they dropped. You could run off rip. You didn't need running shoes. You could sit on benches. We had multiple rivals, not just like Bianca and Sharon, but we had like 5 of them bitches. We didn't really care for all of them. Maybe like Serena, maybe Shauna. But the fact is, they were there, and that was dope in itself. You had PSS, which was the online system, which is one, very nostalgic for me, but 2 was really cool. Like, just the interface, the way it worked, it was dope. I can't tell you the amount of times that I'd be walking through my city as a kid with my 3DS in pocket, passing by people, and I would literally just start battling all the time, trading all the time. It was really dope that they even had a system like that. I don't know why they never bought something like that back. I guess they kind of had something in Scarlet and Violet with like the Union Circle, but it's not the same, man. Passerby was different. Pokemon Amine was dope. I mean, maybe not everyone was into that, but at least you could actually appreciate the 3D models and interact with the Pokemon directly. And there was a boost because if you actually worked on that, you could develop a friendship and get some fucking stupid ass hacks in the game when you're doing your battles. And then just a bunch of things in between: air battles, roller skates, fairy type, Pokemon riding, and most of all, Lumio City. This city is fucking massive. I thought the biggest the cities would get was Castella City in Gen 5, and then this shit dropped. When you saw for the first time how massive Lumio City actually was, you said to yourself, like, how the fuck is this even in the game? Because you get Lumio City and then you get all of this alongside of it. Like, it was crazy. Regardless of how you felt at the time, right? Because I know a lot of people might have had their little things about it, like Mega Evolution is dumb and it's stupid and breaks the game, or these games are so easy now, a toddler could pick it up. They were way ahead of their time, and they were extremely innovative, setting the tone and setting up a future of what could be really amazing. So in them announcing that we'd actually get a Pokemon Z, I'm sure most of us were jumping for joy, thinking like, yo, we need this win. Like, this is what we've been waiting for years. And even though it's a spin-off game, again, marketing says that it's Pokemon Z, right? Pokemon ZA. We're continuing with the Gen 6, right? And we're running off of that high, bringing back Mega Evolutions, all these different things. We're going back into some of the classic things, and we're adding to it and making it better. So that's what we were sold on. Let's see if that's what we really got. The story. The story was tolerable. You know, I thought it was okay. The game takes place entirely in Lumio City, and you're just some tourist, right? Some dude or woman on the train that arrives at a station, and you kind of arrive at a weird time, because during this time, Lumio City is kind of going through like a redevelopment. They're trying to make it so that people and Pokemon can coexist in the city. Now, some people obviously don't like that and feel like it shouldn't be that way, and others feel like that it should. You're just a person that happens to arrive at the right place, I guess technically at the wrong time, and you kind of get hired on the spot to work at a hotel. Now you're fronting this hotel, and your job within your group is to make sure that you stop these things called rogue Mega Evolutions, because Pokemon for some reason is tweaking out and everything is kind of crazy, and there's an obvious upset in the balance, all the redevelopment stuff going on, and you gotta basically calm these Pokemon down and help this city out. That's like a very baseline idea of the story without spoilers. And now that that's out the way, I'd like to get into the things that I loved. The new battle system is amazing. Let me just say that. It is amazing. From a spin-off perspective, I didn't have much hope in terms of like if they'd actually change, or if they did change it, would it be good? I love this battle system. I think it's actually really dope. Like, if we're really in a Pokemon battle, me and you in real life, I'm not about to sit here behind the RPG rules that says that I have to wait my turn to attack you. I'm gonna spam moves and tell my Pokemon to do shit to beat your ass. Like, it's that simple. So you get to do that now. You could just press, if the move, the cooldown's done, you press the move and then boom, your Pokemon does it. We don't care about turns. We just be pressing shit. Like, that's what I do. And I also like the the idea of the nighttime battle zone. And I feel like the first time that they presented to you, it was actually kind of cool. It's like, yo, like people's really bugging. Like once it gets dark, everyone's on smoke. Turn the corner, someone to press you. Like, yo, you better run the fade. And with that being said, I really like the emphasis on battles as a whole, because I feel like most people kind of buy into Pokemon because of battles, right? Like, yeah, trading and collecting is cool, but the main reason most people play is because they want to fuck shit up, either online competitively or in game. I love that this whole game is just dedicated to phase, because we don't really have that, or didn't really have that in prior games. Okay, but like really, like not like that, like not watered down. Like this is really like people really be out about that action, like everywhere. It don't matter, son, child, elderly, woman, everyone want to run the smoke with you if they catch you lacking around the corner. Compared to Pokemon Legends Arceus, we're battling people. It's not just about catching things and completing like explorations, whatever, right? We actually got to run phase. That's how you really run up the bread. That's how you really make the bag. That's how you get your rank up. And I fuck with that. I thought that was dope. And in Pokemon Legends Arceus, there wasn't like an online battle mode, which I thought was kind of dumb, because ultimately it's still a Pokemon game, right? Even if it's a spin-off, you need some kind of battle mode, and I fucked with the fact that they had that in this game. You could battle your friends online, and the system is way different than other Pokemon games, so it's not like traditional competitive battling formats. Like you had to actually think differently and do things differently. And you could battle strangers, obviously, but I mean, I ain't do all that. I just maybe battled my friend a few times, and he was severely under leveled, so I just kind of fucked him up. Visually, the game looked really nice. I was actually really happy with the graphics, and it looked nice, but it also performed really well compared to Scarlet and Violet. That's really the only one I think I could compare it to, because that was the last Pokemon game. I fucked with Scarlet and Violet, but I didn't like how it just didn't perform well. This game runs pretty smoothly, and I didn't run into really any performance issues or glitches like that. Overworld Mega Evolution was cool too, because like I said before, one of the things that we bought into with Mega Evolution was like obviously it being related to battling. But sometimes you just want to Mega Evolve your Ampharos and admire that motherfucker, because that motherfucker got nice ass hair. Like I'm trying to get my hair like him. And speaking of Mega Evolution, I like the fact that there's so many now. One of the things about Oris and X and Y that sometimes could suck is that the Mega Evolution like options were limited, and it got to the point where the game evolved to where you really needed at least one Mega on your team to succeed in most cases. Now you have so many options to pick from, so you will not have as many limited options when building a team. You know, that's what I liked about it personally. Sucks that some of the ones that we might have actually wanted though are locked behind a paywall, but we on the things that I loved, and we trying to stay positive. I'll get to all that bullshit later. I like how they handled Mega Evolution like a special move with a time limit versus like this indefinite thing in battle that you can do until you die, or like, you know, until the battle ends. Like, and there's plenty of side quests and different things to do around the city. Like Lumio City, like we talked about, is massive, so you have a lot of options. A good majority of them are like gathering, capturing Pokemon, or battling somebody, but there's some diverse ones here and there. So I thought it was pretty cool. If you're a completionist, you might like that aspect of the game. Customization in this game has lots of depth. You got hairstyles, hats, robes, full pieces, shirts, shoes, everything under the sun. And I really liked how there was lots of options. I thought it did its job well. And even like the eye color, like over time I could unlock the dead inside eyes. Like that was dope. They even have outfits that you can wear temporarily, I think, if you do certain quests. Main story will probably take you about 30 hours, and like to complete the game, like maybe 50 to 80 hours, like if you want to do like everything. But like main story, you'll be there for a minute. There's not really much post game though after, because if you want to do anything that matters, you gotta buy the DLC, which is really kind of where I'm gonna start this next section when I talk about the things I hated. Why is this game $90 if you want to experience the whole thing on the Switch 1? If you got a Switch 2, right, after that $450 price tag, you gotta drop another $70 for the base game and then $30 for DLC. You're spending at least $90 to $100 if you want to experience the whole game. And yo, I love Lumio City as much as the next person. I think it's dope that they reimagined this thing and they updated the graphics, and we have so much to explore and we could climb buildings. If you are gonna do that, why is the parkour so limited? It sucks. Like, we can't jump, we can't scale things, we can't do anything that would actually be fun in a city this big. The only real thing that you unlock is like this like little double jump type feature, but it's clunky. It's not like smooth. It's not cool. There's nothing cool about it. In terms of transportation, vehicles, Pokemon, like riding a Pokemon, it's non-existent. We don't have any options here. And it's crazy because in Legends Arceus, we had 4 options. You could either run fast, you could climb walls, bro, you could fly. Once you get to a certain point in the game, you could fly around each of the maps Keyword is each of the maps. This game has one map. And if you want to unlock any other map or any other like part of the story where you actually travel out of fucking Lumio City, you gotta pay $30. Also, Raichu's Mega Evolutions suck. One of them looks like Alolan Raichu. At first, it's cool walking and running around, but like, as you're going around and progressing throughout the game, and especially when you're trying to stop these rogue Pokemon, they have like these little puzzles in between where you gotta climb a certain type of scaffolding or use a certain platform to get up there. It's like, it's dumb. It's clunky and it kind of slows down the pacing because you gotta double back or backtrack, or if you fall, you gotta go all the way around. You can't give me just this city and then have me walk around and travel around in such a limited fashion. Fast traveling is good and it's convenient and there's a lot of option to fast travel, but it makes the cabs pointless. Why would I spend money on a cab to go to a very specific part of the map when I could just fast travel there and not spend any money? What, am I doing it for nostalgia? I love the battles in this game. I like that we have a big emphasis on battles, but after a while, I kind of started fucking hating the battles. Sometimes the story can kind of drag on because it's just so much excessiveness and tedium. To rank up, you got to do a certain amount of battles and get a certain amount of tickets, and it's just like, all right, like, after you're like 17 times doing it, why am I doing this? Like, I gotta get a certain ticket so I can battle some boss. I wasn't really a big fan of like the system of ranking up. And when I say they want to battle you over every little thing, I mean literally every little thing. There was a certain plot point that was intriguing at first because there was a level of mystery behind it, but it started to drag on because at every single point, you had to battle somebody for some stupid fucking reason. By the time we actually got to the end, it was super cliche, and I was like, yo fam, I stopped caring about this storyline, this plot point an hour ago. I went into this game completely blind and I wasn't expecting a lot of Pokemon that got Mega Evolutions to get Mega Evolutions. Like, yo, I fuck with Emboar. I've always fucked with Emboar. To see Mega Emboar, that was cool. To see Mega Hawlucha, that was cool. But then you got some stupid ass fucking Megas that when you look at it, it's like, why did you get a Mega? It's cool to see Gen 5 Pokemon getting Megas, but Mega Chandelure looks fucking dumb. No, like this should have been a Mega. We still don't got a Flygon Mega. Like, what the fuck? That's literally what the fans have requested for years. A lot of the budget, I feel like, went toward these like really cool cutscenes, which are nice and all, but if I'm being honest, I don't really give a fuck. I really came to play a game. I want autonomy. I'd rather Game Freak have put more time and effort into actually giving us cool gameplay features than to give us these cool ass cutscenes. Like, if I wanted to watch something, I'd watch the anime, I'd watch a show. I'm here to play something. Make the gameplay fun. Or at the very least, give us co-op. We had it in Scarlet and Violet, and Scarlet and Violet, not only was the map like pretty big, but you could run the whole game co-op with your friend. I wish they would have given us something like that again if they weren't going to give us any traversal options aside from running. And if they were going to lock another map behind a DLC, at least you can make it so that I can play with my friends in the same city, right? Nope. And I really got to emphasize this thing with the price, right? $60 to $70 plus that $30 for the rest of the game. And this is something, a trend that's kind of been started with Sword and Shield that I've been noticing, with them just like sprinkling content that should have originally been in the game as paid DLC, selling you some of the most broken ass Pokemon with DLC. I'm not a fan of that, because people that play Pokemon will do it, especially competitive battlers, because competitive battlers want the best advantage. So they'll pay the extra $30, $40, however much they gotta pay for that broken ass Pokemon so that they can actually do well in competitive. But in this game, I just felt like it's dumb, because when I think back to other games from back in the day, we had so much content. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, we had Gen 2, and then we were able to go Gen 1 post-game. Black and White had post-game and stuff that you can do. Black and White 2 had post-game. But if you want to go to like the 3DS era, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had a dope-ass post-game, and so did ORAS. And the cool thing about both of those games is that they also came with a special demo that was free for everybody. So if for some reason your parents did not want to buy you that game, you could at least enjoy the special demo that everyone could download. There was so much stuff that you can actually do in the game. We don't have any of that anymore. And if we're getting into some more minor things that I'm just kind of nitpicking at because I'm mad just thinking about the things I don't like about this game, the day and nighttime thing could be a little more seamless. Like, it's kind of awkward how they transition it sometimes. It's annoying to be in the middle of doing something like catching an alpha Pokemon, and if it happens to go day or night at that exact moment that you're about to catch it, then your whole progress resets and you gotta redo all that shit again. Also, from a character standpoint, I really like these characters. I fucked with Detective Emma, especially because it was a Looker reference from Gen 5, and I thought that was cool. Although she was also part of one of the most hated plot points that I still think is stupid as fuck when you had to chase after that. You know what, I'm not gonna spoil it. It's just the one that dragged on for a long time. It was pretty dumb. But I didn't care about Tawny. And that performative bullshit that they pulled at the end with the ending and Tawny, yeah, that shit was dumb. Like I said, if you play the game, you know, then you know. And also, if you're gonna give us these fucking scenes, again, we're how far in Pokemon and we don't have any voice acting? Game Freak, I know y'all got the money. You're telling me we couldn't have any voice acted scenes? Not even a grunt? Not even a fucking ha, ha. We gotta look at the screen and watch these characters' mouths move and watch the subtitles but hear nothing? Fun fact about this game, it was a gift from a good friend of mine. Shout out to Flashy Boy. If I were to replay this game knowing the information that I know about it now and in playing it now, I would not have spent that $60 to $70. And I definitely didn't buy that DLC because after completing the game, I didn't feel inclined to. I think it was a cool way to reimagine what it'd be like for people in Pokemon to coexist, because if you lived in a big city, that's kind of how it would be. It'd kind of be something like how it is in this game. But if we're going back to what was said before, I don't think it was a good continuation of X and Y. I thought it was kind of disappointing and fell short in a lot of ways. And I just didn't enjoy it the way that I thought that I would. This is not a game worth $60 to $70. I would say at most it's worth $40. So I'd recommend this if it had a sale or dropped prices, but I would not recommend this at full price. I'm gonna address this last thing before I end the video. To my people that suddenly came to my channel and might have seen my Rune Factory 5 video and then you subscribed and maybe stuck around for a bit, first of all, shout out to you guys. I took a really long break and hiatus from this game because one, gaming stuff was never meant to be a main thing. This will always to me just be a hobby and I really enjoy it. So I'll be uploading more on this channel. But one thing that you might have noticed is that my name changed, and I changed that intentionally because I wanted whatever brand I was creating to be associated with kind of who I am as a person. Originally I had the name Apple Cider and I thought that it was like a cool spin on the name, on the like the drink, but I don't drink and I don't want to be associated with alcohol because that's just not something that I do. So I decided to change my name to the ApplePsyche because that's what it's about. It's about my thoughts, it's about my opinions, it's about my feelings on games and things that I do. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be doing. I'll be uploading here and there just a bunch of different games and a wide variety of different thoughts and talking points and opinions on things. So if you've subscribed before and maybe forgot about the channel for a few years, hey, what's up? I'm back and I look forward to posting more often. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.